Hey cats, what's happening? Boy, you ever have those days where you get out of bed and you just, I don't feel sick, but it's just like one of those days where I just feel kind of crappy, Like I just can't get it together. I can't focus, and I feel like I got lead in my shoes today. It happens once in a while. For the most part, I've been pretty energetic. People have asked me, they go, "Hey, Itchy, how do you come up with 2 videos a week? How do you get the ideas?" That's a pretty good question because I don't always have the ideas. Like today, for instance, I get out of bed and I'm thinking, yeah, boy, I gotta make a video today too. But I have no idea about what. Yeah, it's been a lot on my mind. But the biggest thing on my mind today is my mother. You guys know she's been in a like an assisted living nursing home kind of a thing. And yesterday she had a stroke and was going into seizures, and she ended up in the hospital. So they took her to the ER, and they had her in the ER for a while. And then they sent her up to the ICU unit, the intensive care unit, and she was pretty much unresponsive all day yesterday, and this morning finally she started to come around again. So all the tests they've run so far, they don't know what's going on. They don't know why she's having seizures, why she had this stroke. They can't find a blood clot or anything like that. So anyway, she's been in my prayers. She's in my thoughts pretty heavily today, and I appreciate your guys' prayers for her too. I think she's 91 years old now, and so yeah, it stinks getting old. I don't really consider myself old yet. I'm getting up there at 68, but I'm still able to get around and do all the things that I need to do. In fact, I've been getting a lot done here in preparation for winter. If you could see, the leaves are already starting to fall. Some of the trees are starting to turn color. I've got my firewood stocked up here on the porch this season already. This rick on the outside here I picked up yesterday from the Amish sawmill, and the rick behind it is wood that I cut here at home. I also have another full, more probably a rick and a half behind the garage over there that I picked up from the Amish sawmill. That's a pretty good deal. I for a whole rick, I can get a rick for $30, which, if I were to turn around and sell that in the city, I could probably get 3 times as much for that. You ever see those little bundles of wood they sell? If I had to buy those to heat my home, I'd go broke because I couldn't afford that. But I go to the Amish mill. Now, there's a couple Amish mills around here, Amish sawmills. And they take timber, and they cut it up for boards and for beams and things like that. And then they have a lot of scrap left over, which they cut up into these cordwood links. And it's all good hard wood. It burns really well. Now, the problem is that the mill that I originally went to, I could go there and get a truckload for $25. And they were a good group of people. But unfortunately, a bunch of other people found out that bargain too. So the place started getting mobbed. And in fact, what some people were doing was exactly that. They were bringing in trailers and just loading up as much wood as they could get, and giving the Amish guy $100. And then they'd go into town, break it all up, and sell it and make a mere fortune on it. So they're just taking advantage of the Amish, but they're also screwing over people like me who use it to heat my home. So I went to that mill 2 days ago, and they were cleaned out. There was nothing there. The guy says, as fast as I cut it, it's gone. Well, there's another mill, but it's further away. It takes me probably about 40 minutes to get out there. But there was a lot of wood there. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of wood, but there was a pretty good pile of wood there, and I was able to get a truckload on my truck, and for $30, and that's what I hauled on the porch yesterday. So I hauled 2 truckloads out of there actually in two different days. And it's not easy because it's all got to be loaded by hand, and then I get here and I can only back my truck up, to about here, and then it's all got to be carried up by the arm loads and stacked on the porch. I don't want to stack any more on the porch just because I don't know that my beams can hold that much weight. There's a lot of weight there, and I see just a slight little sag in the truss there, and I mean those trusses are over 30 years old, so it would be pretty easy for one of those to snap and break, and I don't want that to happen. I don't need that. I could fix it. I mean, I'm a carpenter, so I know how to fix things like that, but why break it if you don't have to? So I'm not going to load any more wood up on there. The other thing I had to do was to winterize the Hemi, my travel trailer. I have to get a new awning, the awning that comes out here on the side of the trailer. It's got some leaks in it, and it's leaking down on top of the slide out. It's not rolling up properly anymore. It's got some issues. So this whole awning thing is going to be replaced, and they've ordered it from the dealer, but now I got to wait for it to come in, and then when it does come in, they're going to give me a call, and then I got to tow this thing all the way to the dealership so they can install the new awning on here for me. I just want to take care of it. I like to take care of my equipment. I don't like to let it go, because you let that awning go, and you see how it's covering the slide out there, so it keeps water from getting on top of that slide out, which the slide out's designed to take water, but the less water you have on there, the better, because those things, they can have their issues. So I keep the canopy only partially out to keep the water out the slide out. I don't put it all the way out, because if a storm would come and the wind would hit it, it's like a big parachute. It'll rip it right off of my trailer. Even though it's protected by the side of the building, I don't want to take a risk. The slide out on this side has a awning on the top of it that rolls in and out with the slide out as it goes in and out. So that was an extra that I'd had to have installed on there, but it keeps that slide out in much better condition, so I don't have issues with it down the road. I took it camping 3 times this summer because I already had obligations, and I actually had a good time doing that. So I might have some more camping trips this next season, but right now it's time to get ready for winter. So I had to winterize it. And basically what I do is on the other side is where my water hookups are. So I've got 3 water ports here, and you can hook up a garden hose to these. This one is if you have city water, or in other words, you're going to hook a hose up to it and turn the water on at the spigot, and that'll feed the trailer. This one you can hook the hose up to and you fill up the water tank. That'll hold like 50 some gallons. And so if you get somewhere that doesn't have a water spigot that you can hook up to, you'll have a tank full of water that you can use until that runs out. And this one's just for flushing out the septic tank. You can hook the hose up there, turn the water on, and it'll spray water inside your tank and supposedly rinse all the poop out of there, but it doesn't work very well. So I take that my water tank, drain it completely out of water, and then I put RV antifreeze in it. And then I come in and turn on the water pump, and then I'll run the water until I see it running pink, and you can see there's kind of pink there. Over in here, I run all the faucets until I see them running pink. I even run the toilet when I see pink water coming out of there, and the shower. Don't forget the shower. But you run all the faucets until you see the antifreeze coming out. And that winterizes your water system so your plastic water lines don't freeze. I also have the refrigerator turned off, and I keep the doors propped open. I use an ice cube tray just so the door doesn't close all the way, and that'll keep it from getting moldy, because the refrigerators tend to get moldy really easy in these things. So that's done. You know what? I had a mouse died in here somewhere in the wall. Mice had been getting into my unit, and I could actually, at one time, I could hear them scampering up here in the ceiling, but I was unable to figure out where they were coming in at, and it got to be a real problem. I wasn't quite sure how to deal with it. I had mouse traps set up all over the place in here, and I was catching mice left and right, but they just kept coming. So it got to the point, though, like earlier this summer, where I walked in here one day and it was like, oh, it smelled like death, like something died, like something was decaying. It was terrible. So I turned the air conditioner on, ran the fans. I sprayed stuff up in the air conditioner so it would vent out through the whole thing, try to get rid of the smell. And it took a couple weeks, but so the smell finally went away. But with that came flies. It was like, when something decomposes and the maggots get in there, and then the maggots hatch and the flies come out. Well, the flies were coming out from somewhere. What I think is up here in my air conditioning ductwork. You can pop these little covers off. And I ran a camera up in there, and you could see where mice chewed through the side of the vent. So they're coming up the wall, getting into the ceiling, chewed into the air conditioner vent, and yeah. So the flies, I think, were coming through that way, but this place was full of flies. I had to run a insecticide in here to get rid of all the flies. It was really, really nasty. And every day I was coming in here, there was like 100 flies up inside this thing. See, there's a fly in there, right? There's a couple flies in there right now. I open that up. And there are those green blowflies too, which... And how are they getting in there? That's like outside. The only thing I can think of is there's a little hole like that goes into the ceiling where this fan is hooked up, where it's wired in or something, and I think the flies are getting up in the ceiling. They're somehow getting in. I don't know. I hope I got it remedied now, but it doesn't smell in there anymore. But I've been checking it every day, and the dealer told me to get this spray, which I got, and I sprayed everything underneath the trailer, the frame, the legs, the wheels, and the ground around there. They said that'll keep the mice out of there, and so far it seems to be working perfectly. So I'll continue to use that. I'll show you what I got here. Rodent repellent by Tomcat, and it comes with a little battery operated sprayer. You can spray it right out of the thing, and I didn't use very much of it. I probably didn't even use half of this gallon, and so I still have plenty more that I can use later. I see the stink bugs are reappearing again. They like to hibernate this time of year, so I don't care about stink bugs in the garage, but they get in the house, and oh, I hate those things. I don't know how they get in, but they manage to get in. Well, there you go. That's my saga for today. Doesn't have anything to do with riding a motorcycle, I'll tell you that. That would be a lot more pleasant if that was all I had to do. So yeah, this week's just kind of been a lot of work and just trying to get things ready for winter. Well, I hope you guys are doing all right. I keep you in my prayers. Even those of you who don't want to be prayed for, I keep you in my prayers. I appreciate all your support. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and join me on the rest of this journey. Till next time, cats, I'll catch you later.